This how, that's all. This how, that's walk. This the dad pod, the dad pod, the dad
Hey, what's
pod.
going on, world? Once again, it's your boy Midas, KME. We got Sam Long. I would say in the building as if we in the same building, but they kind of understand where I'm going with it. This is a dad pod as usual. Before we started, Sam mentioned he could see that Christmas tree. I was telling him, I said I finally unblurred everything. I feel like every time I watch these videos back, it's everything's so blurred out. You barely even see me. I look a stick figure. You guys might think I'm 40 pounds lighter, and I'm not. So anyway, but yeah. With that being said, they got the Christmas decorations up, and kids running wild. House is crazy. Every time it gets clean, it seems like it gets dirty right back because I find a new Christmas decoration, or my wife does. She wants to hang up. So how's it? How's your December rolling along so far, though?
I mean, things are good. I mean, trying to get in that Christmas spirit, thinking about things, decorating, just like trying to be full on in the spirit of just like, I feel myself listening to Christmas music, getting into the movies, things like that. Just trying to feel like the magic in the way that I can. And then I'm hoping like by like myself being into it, like I'm able to like pass it on to the kids and like
Yeah, I haven't done any of the movies yet. I've been in the mood. I just haven't actually got around to watching any Christmas movies because I want to do it with fam. Everybody sit down and watch them.
well, it's like I did Die Hard. It's like people, it's controversial if that a Christmas movie or not. For me, it is.
I definitely seen it, but I never was into it enough to have an opinion, I guess, on that whole Christmas movie. You know what I mean? It wasn't in
It's
my
a
life like that.
strong rewatch. Recommend.
I'll have to. I know I've wanted to watch it a billion times. I see clips all the time on the little YouTube reels or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, it's one of them. There's man. I got a movie list so long. I was like, it wasn't long ago, a couple years ago. One of the coworkers was something. Tell me about some movie, and I'm asked if I watched it. I'm like, yeah, I'll get to it. I still got a list, and I mentioned a movie, and he was like, I can't even remember what it was at the time, but I mentioned the movie, and he goes, yeah, from was so and so in it? I'm like, yeah. He was like, that came out in 2011. Like, damn, my list is fucking long.
Yeah.
Like I kind of get to movies as I get to them. My main
do.
problem, as I'm thinking of it, because it got around Christmas movies and stuff like that. My main real problem is that I save movies for a family member. Like, oh, my wife would love to watch this one. Oh, my son would love to watch this one with me. And they just end up on a list that never gets watched. Because then when I turn Netflix on, I just scroll for a new movie again, as if I don't have a fucking list 12 miles long.
100%. I don't know. I'm a movie guy, so I'm watching movies.
I really am.
I'm watching movies like all the time. It's like I was just at the movies this past weekend.
Yeah.
And it's like I love to go to the movies with the kids. And it's like it's one of those things that like I love, but like I'm not always like trying to break it down into like why is this a great movie? It's just like this is a good movie. Like
Yeah.
I like it.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. I have a lot of those discussions often with mostly like Marvel fans or DC fans or these superhero movies, and people get really into it. And now well, actually you're kind of one of those in the sense with, you a lot of movies, you've read the book beforehand. So sometimes
Right.
it ruins your experience of the movie, and I'm always, I mean, for one, I don't read the book, and 9 out of 10 of these things most likely, but it's like I've always just kind of been like, I'm not comparing it, right? What do they say? Compare. What? There's a quote.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
There it is, right? In every aspect of life. I don't want to compare it. I just want to enjoy what this piece is as a whole, right? And that's how I judge, a movie. But I'm like, see, now I'm like, see, 'cause we didn't used to have social media growing up the way that our kids do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it kind of be like, oh, Sam said the movie sucked. And that's kind of how we went about things. Like, now it's like, well, TikTok
it's like-
said.
Now it's so many things that I bring up, and like the kids haven't seen the movie, but they see the clip.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Thousand
like,
spoilers.
I know this clip, or like I know this happened. It's like it makes it like tough. Sometimes like I'm like, hey, let's watch E.T. And I'm like, these kids ain't sitting through E.T. Like the pacing in that movie.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah.
way. But like I remember watching that movie growing up and being like, fuck man,
Good
E.T.
movie.
This movie is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, you're right. The pace, that's such a thing now because of cell phones and things of that sort, right? You got to be busy at every moment. And I noticed that myself. Like, I feel like I have to be, I was already like that to the most part anyway, but now, add the cell phone in, I feel like I got to be active at every second. I'm not, oh, I gotta. Random. I mean, we're kind of just shooting the shit here, I guess, on this one so far. But I was yapping with John the other day, and we were kind of talking about like knowing each other or stuff. And I was like,
Your
yeah,
son in the background.
I know. I see him just roaming all around. But I'm
Yeah.
just like, I was kind of talking about like I don't talk to many people, and like we already know that and this and that, and but I was saying, I had realized just the other day, like, man, I don't. My wife says all the time, but I don't know how to have fun. You know, like if it's not productive, I have to be productive. Even if we just party and having a good time at a bonfire, then like we better have a good productive conversation, or I feel like I wasted my night. Like you know, like and I think that also makes me counterproductive because my mind's so stuck on gotta.
Right. You
You know
put
what I
so
mean?
much pressure on it. You don't
Yes, there it
allow it to
is.
actually just happen.
Yeah, yeah. I've just noticed that recently. I was telling John that I said, man, I really noticed that like when it comes down to just friends because we were because what happened was we John always likes to play Madden, right? Like and
Right.
I'm not huge on it, but I played a lot this year because of my son, you know, he wants to play. So anyway, so because I've been playing it, you know, finally I played John and I whooped his ass. Like I used to always whoop his ass back in the day, always. And
Terrible.
we had this way back in the day. Me and John had this bet. We played 3 times in a row, Cowboys versus Cowboys. Whoever won had lifetime rights to the Cowboys versus on Madden, right? And I
Right.
won. So I've always had rights to the Cowboys, but John had been beating my ass for so many years because I don't play. You know, ever since I did music, I stopped playing Madden. But like I said, now I play with my son. So anyway, me and John had this night the other night. I beat the shit out of him. And he's like, "Ah, fuck that. I want a rematch." So we do a rematch, and I beat his ass again. And he's like, just like, no, fuck it. There's no way this happening. It's because I can't use the Cowboys. So I'm like, well, use the fucking Cowboys. And I whooped his ass again. And so he's like, he doesn't understand. And I'm like, John, it's because I never spent the time to play it, right? Of course you're gonna whoop my ass to something I never fucking play. I'm just basing it off of like muscle memory, right? Like,
Yeah.
but now I've played all year. I've played this game with, you know, my son. So yeah, I don't, you know, expect you.
Listen, you want to play on rookie? That's my stance.
He's
I'm
half
not trying
rookie.
to. I'm not one of these people trying to play all Madden.
Yeah,
I'm not.
always.
I'm
Yeah,
not gonna like take control of the DB. Like
yeah.
I'm not.
My
I'm
son
not
does.
doing.
I'm not that good yet. No, I mean, and it wasn't like I wasn't necessarily about that conversation or necessarily that. I was just kind of saying in a sense of having fun, like right, just kind of sitting there and playing the game again. That's kind of where we were going back to, and you know, John was like, "Yeah, you know, I have fun just playing the game with you," and where that conversation came from was because I'm sitting there telling my wife, I'm like, "Yeah, look, me and John played the game 3 fucking games the other day. He got time to play the fucking game, but he don't ever got time to do a podcast though." Right? He always got time to play the fucking game, but never got time for a podcast. And she's like, well, not everybody just has fun doing shit like you do. That has to be something. Like, right? Some people just like to do stuff for fun. And it's like, I just
That's a fair
don't,
point.
but I don't get it. I legitimately don't like what, you know, because she asked me that before too. What's fun to you? And I was like, music. And she's like, you can't say that. And I'm like, I like to play the video game for at least an hour sometimes. It's pretty
Oh no,
fun.
I used to play. My favorite thing is conversation. Like
Mhm.
just a good, like if you
And
can
I
get to
think
a
maybe
good
that's yeah,
conversation, that's like
that's
that's like
fair.
one of my favorite things. It's
Yeah,
just like yeah, but it's like it's just gotta happen.
yeah. I guess you're right.
But
I
like,
definitely
but
get
like,
enjoyable.
but you also have to like put yourself in the position to make them, and you have to be ready to have them. You like it can't just be like, oh, people say, oh, it just happens naturally. You're like, yeah, but like, what are you doing beforehand to like be conducive to like having a conversation with?
Excuse me. Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, set yourself up or place yourself in one of those positions.
Yeah, like, are you just home watching TV? I mean, and if so, fine, but like, how are you thinking about it, or is it just like a
Yeah.
mindless thing, or just like, I think so many people just do stuff.
Out of habit, absolutely. I caught myself a couple times, you know, because I go on these swaps where I get 4 days off, where it's like I do things just out of habit, or, you know, I'm like, I'm just bored. This is why I'm doing this or doing that, you know.
Yeah,
Definitely get accustomed to everyday tasks. Wait, yeah. Let me see.
that's where I've been struggling with like just like discipline versus motivation, and just like thinking about like how in myself I got to think about it so I can talk to my kids about it. It's
Yeah.
like, listen, it's great to be motivated. It's awesome to be motivated. That's an awesome feeling. But sometimes you just ain't gonna be, and you
Mhm.
gotta do it anyway. That's where the discipline kicks in.
Yeah.
And like, if you're disciplined enough, you'll get motivated. But rarely are you gonna be able to say like, I'm just gonna ride motivation into like discipline. It's like
Yeah. Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
something you just gotta like do. And like, listen, I've been struggling with it, like getting back into running. Like, I've been talking about running marathons next year, just like trying to give myself a goal, but like not just one that I can just Oh yeah, I'd like to be a movie star. It's like, no, I want to run a marathon. This is how fast I gotta run. This is how I gotta
Yeah,
train. This is my program.
work
Like
on it
how
by
my
little by little.
right. Like and like having to like every day, like I have to dedicate this much time toward this goal. It just like that's
Yeah,
just what
that's
it
a good
is.
one. I need something like for reals, like a reminders. They got all kind of apps and stuff. I was just telling myself I got to start looking at something like that to make my watch ding or something and say, "Hey, fool, pay attention." I feel like years ago when Apple iPhone came out with like the reminder app or something, man, it was so good because you can do it location based. So every time I would roll up to the house, it would ding and say, "You're home. Do you have time?" Like I would set myself a
It's
note,
smart.
like. And then what happened was, where I worked, I wasn't allowed to bring in my phone anymore, and it just threw off the whole schedule. But things have kind of worked out a certain way where now I'm like, you know what, I think I'll be able to do things how I used to do them again. But that's definitely something, like you said, with I guess it's because it's the discipline. Because even like motivation, because I guess like I get motivated a lot, but even I'm sitting here as I'm talking about my house and having it open and getting to see it's a mess and got the kids running around and stuff like that. But that's another thing that's really hard for me with motivation. Even though I feel like I've been pretty good at discipline, I sit in this chair every day and I attempt something, but my motivation goes away because, like as you guys can kind of see in the thing, my living room is shared with my kitchen, and it's a small house to where my kids and my family is all here all the time. There's always somebody
Right.
circling around, so it's hard to be motivated. On top of especially trying to record a song, right? I gotta motivate my mind to not be frustrated when I fuck up. And then I'm sitting here singing, and then my baby comes in, da da, like fucking. There goes the motivation right out the window, right? So it's like you said, like it is a hard balance to go between discipline and motivation. But I think with having discipline, it's like you said with conversation or whatever. It's much easier to place yourself in a position to get motivated if you're disciplined enough to keep going back or keep sitting
It,
down.
absolutely. Definitely.
Like I'm sitting here looking at the difference in light too. See, I'm all that's always my problem with this shit. I'm all picky. I'm like yellow light. I need to get a white light. I look all orange.
I'm even thinking like I'm trying to get back into reading and like I want to make sure reading is a habit before like I go to bed. And like that's already a habit that I have for my kids. But
Excuse me.
it's like that's like a do as I say, not as I do sort of thing. It's like, yeah, I'll read to you before you go to bed, but I'm gonna go sit and watch TV till I fall asleep.
Oh, I see what
Like,
you're
you know, like
saying. Get your
maybe
mind
like
going.
yeah. It's like so like fair is fair. Like if I'm gonna be reading to you, why am I not taking time to read for myself?
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of stuff is definitely hard. Like you said, do as I say, not as I do. That's a hard one for sure.
Yeah. And I
Man,
never even thought about it like that until right now, just talking to you about it. It's like, it's good how those things come out every now and then.
it's like, oh well, I
It's
guess
just
I do be
like,
watching TV.
yeah, it's like, well, it's like your ideas are only of your own until you share them with somebody. And then sometimes somebody like reacts and you're like, damn, like, yeah, wasn't a great idea.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't imagine how many great ideas like that were said out loud and somebody's like, you're fucking with me, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. You
but
got to take egg on your face, but like, hey, that's where it comes. That's how you
uh,
get better.
I know, like with that, like you said, I was having a conversation with a coworker one of the days, and um, she, I was kind of just saying, basically, there's like somebody that's supposed to be coming around, some new supervisor or something. A lot of people don't get along with this person, and I was kind of stressing at first because I was like, I'm still really in a place where like I be wanting to smack the shit out of people. I mean, I'm being real. Like I'm a good person. So when you talk to me a certain way, we're too old. I feel like at this point in my life for you to be fucking speaking to me like this. I'm much more vocally inclined to say, why don't you just come and see me somewhere else? And so I'm starting to get nervous in my head, like, man, I think I'm gonna end up coming at this dude all wrong and blah blah. But then I start catching myself like, I've never even met this person. I'm taking this shit on face value of some fucking stranger who I don't even know how they are around. You know what I mean? Like I don't even know.
That's a good point. It's
You know what I
like,
mean?
what's
So
their energy?
so and then I start thinking about it more. I'm like, I can't tell you how many times I've been around one of these people that like somebody saying, oh, this person, blah blah blah. You guys are gonna bump heads, and we don't bump heads at all because I am I will speak up in a sense, and no, man, that's not right. Like, cause can't be talking to me like that. We need to handle it or whatever. But a lot of people tend to bump heads or disagree with people because they don't do their job right, or they don't have or their ego's too big, you know? And so I said, so I was talking with this coworker about it, and I was kind of mentioning that, and she was just like, you know, the reason people really like you around here is because you don't really have an ego when you make mistakes. You know, you're real quick to, hey, did you do blah blah blah? And you're like, I did it, I apologize, I'll fix it. You know, she was like, most people will sit there and lie about it and go through all this thing, and oh well, it was so and so fault. The only reason I did it because so and so does it that way, you know. And she was like, you never do it like that. I think you'll get along with this person just fine, right? And it was like, it maybe like kind of like we're saying with ego, or do as I say, not as I do. Like you say, I'm definitely starting to get to the point where like, all right, I got to, like you said, I got to make my actions match what I say. You know,
Exactly.
I can't be telling my kids turn the other, no, don't act that way, and then I'm over here like, man, I'll smack this bitch. Like you can't,
Yeah,
you know, yeah,
for sure.
that's
And
a
that's
solid
hard
point.
because those are those parts of you that rub off that you never notice.
Yes, yes, yeah. It makes me think of one. Oh my gosh, man! Just to show you how much kids are watching. Well, I might have said it before, but it's, you know, all my body parts always hurt or whatever. But it was a certain point in my life where it was, now it was my neck. All of a sudden, my fucking neck, and man, I'm oh my god, man. And my son was 2.5 at the time, and he walked in the room and he's like, even at that time, I had to realize, like, damn, man, they be paying attention, man.
Yeah.
So,
Look at little sponges.
some things just rub right off, you know. Your attitude,
It
I know.
does.
My son too. I caught him. You know, I'm real. Shit'll happen. I'll go. Of course, I'll drop some shit on the floor. Of course, I would fucking drop it. Right. I
Yeah.
catch him every now and then. He'd be in the room. He'd do some. Of course, that would happen. Yeah.
I'll hear my son saying, like, not great.
Not great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I do the like if something happens, I'm like, oh, not great. And then like nah, he'll look at me, I'll go, not great.
That's
Like,
hilarious. It's crazy how that happens. Huh? They soak up everything
Yeah.
except for what you want. It seems like, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I want you to take all the good parts. Like forget
Yeah.
all the bad stuff. Just take all the good parts.
Take all the good you can from me.
Take the stuff that I'm meaning to give to you.
You know,
Just disregard all the other stuff. But that's the thing, right? I heard somebody say something. It's like in today's age, people are very willing to like lay their trauma at the foot of their parents, but they're also not willing enough to take that and move forward with their own lives.
mm-hmm.
And it's
That's
like,
all
yeah,
right,
it's
yeah.
like, why bother blaming your parents? It's like, at the end of the day, they did what they could with what they had. And like, good or bad, that's what you had. So you got to figure out
Yeah.
how to move forward.
At what point is it now? Yeah, like you said, your turn to move forward. You know, you told me some shit, man. We had to be 16, 17. I went over to, I'm gonna go ahead and name drop him, Andrew Concio. He was my best friend when I was younger, right?
Yeah.
The fourth or fifth grade and all that. But anyway, I'll go over to his house. You know, my parents and them were always friends. They worked around each other. So I go over to his house, and for the first time, and it was so fucking clean, like everything, everywhere, and it was so clean to where it wasn't like one of those clean where your mom and dad is like, "Hey, pick up real quick, we got company."
Right.
Nah, like this is what this house looks like, right? Like
Yeah.
clean, right? And so I come home and I'm telling my mom, kind of like, you know, I really wish you would have got on me and Tracy more for to clean and because their house was so nice and blah 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 blah. And she was like, "Well, you're 17 years old, Michael. You can start doing that whenever you want."
Yeah.
It's like you said, I was already old enough to drop all that little habit that my mom and dad did. If you know better, if you know the house isn't up to standards, why don't you get your ass and start cleaning? Like
Exactly. That's funny.
but I remember telling you that way back then because I was mad, and you were like, "No, she has a fair point." You know, I'm kind of like, "Well, fuck." Like,
Yeah, she
I
does.
thought you were gonna be on my side, dog. Like,
Yeah. Your mom dropping knowledge.
yeah, well, she always does. She's big on him, and she does it in such a nice, calm way. Like you can't even be mad. Like,
Yeah.
like, oh well, damn, you're right.
Yeah. I got nothing to say to that.
Yeah, real for real, man.
Not even a reaction.
Man, but you know, I'm like, well, I'm sitting here trying to look down at the little notes of the text messages of what you had sent. I wasn't trying to do a too long video today anyway, so it's kind of rushing to do a few things here and there. But you were saying having planning for kids, saving and college and who pays for what and those kind of things, And I'm like, I've definitely had a lot of conversations, like I feel like lately with my kids about you don't have to go to a 4 year. You can do a trade, that there's other things that can be done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's for sure. And a lot of people go into trades and make more money than people that go to college.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like, well, I don't know, at least for me growing up, I felt like trade schools weren't really talked about very much. It was kind of just like, it was almost like when
It
you
wasn't.
graduate, you go to a 4-year college or the military. It was like, or those were your only two
Yeah.
options.
Or you're a bum or
Yeah,
like
yeah, straight up. That's all I really remember hearing. Or you were flipping burgers at McDonald's for the rest of your life. That like
yeah.
there was no in between. You know, I definitely remember that. And things finally, people are seeing there is money out there to be made.
Yeah. I was lucky enough that when I was getting out of the army, that was like a big thing. It was like, hey, you can go and do this and you're making like 95 grand starting. It's like you take 2 years, you do this. And it's like, that's cool. I think that there is a reality is that if you do go to a 4 year for certain things, your ceiling is going to be higher.
Hmm.
Like
For certain
if,
things, absolutely.
right.
Yes, yes, yes.
If you're going to go into like finance and you're good at that, like, listen, the ceiling is
Yeah, yeah,
that's off the charts for you. If you want to go and get a history degree, like, listen, you might have some limited options.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that's what was not explained for us
That's
growing
like,
up.
I didn't understand that even as an adult. Even when I went to college, in college, I switched from finance to criminal justice because I was like, fuck it, at the end of the day, a degree is a degree. And then I got a degree and couldn't get a job.
Mm. Yeah,
It was like I could
yeah.
go sell used cars for $10 an hour, or I could go do security and make the same as somebody that just graduated high school.
Yeah,
It's like,
crazy. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
get the fuck out of here. There's no way. And I learned real quick. It was like, you better find a degree that matters.
Yeah. And
And
that's what I don't think is, and like you said, those are the conversations I feel like I've been having. My daughter's about a year or so out of high school, about to be out of high school here soon. And, where I also was trying to explain too, like, it's not that we're saying you have to know what you're going to do or something, right? I lived with my parents
no,
for years and stuff like that. It's not nothing like that. But like you said, to be thinking about it, not just enroll in school because that's what everybody tells you to do and that's what everybody's doing, but have a goal behind school. And, I've had those with a lot of people I feel like too, right? So like I always give the example of music because music is such an odd choice. I don't feel like there's very many people that follow that pursuit, right? But so like, okay, right, okay, I'm not going to be a famous musician. I'm 37 years old. The chances are slimmer than they were when I was younger. So it's like, but what's a way that I can still do what I do and go to school, right? So here's a way. Business touches on everything that I'll ever need to know in music. So I can still gain a degree in some way with business, right? And what goes along with
yeah,
business? Like you said, a finance, or there's other things that go along that can match my goals, yet I can still go out and make significant money because if business matches my goals, it also matches your goals because you're in business as well, right? So it's like you said, some of the things you don't always have to walk in and be like, bam, I'm going to be a doctor, right? Sometimes you do go to
right.
school or you do learn along the way of how to achieve your ultimate goal. But yeah, I was like, I don't
And
think
I
any of
do,
that was understood.
yeah, and I do think there is something to carving your own path. It's like, I went to college for the first time because I thought that's what you went to at Palo Verde College, which is where is that going to take you?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, it's like, listen, I'm glad that they have it there for what it does, but like in the broad scope of higher education, Palo Verde Community College is not looked on very
Yeah.
highly.
No, yeah, you're not learning shit.
No, no. Like, and I remember like talking to Jennifer about stuff, my ex-wife, about stuff I was doing in like high school, and she was like, "That's stuff we did in, like sixth grade."
Yeah, yeah. And I guess with that kind of conversation too, things definitely change. And I mean that could be a Palo Verde school system, but I think it was a time in an era, I guess, because I've had this conversation a lot. Do you remember Hooked on Phonics in elementary?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so at that time, when we were in elementary, reading was the biggest thing, the biggest problem across the board, apparently. But with that, they stopped teaching us math and science, and they just focused on reading.
Well, because
So,
they had to put immigrant kids in the classroom.
okay, so that's kind of where the numbers, okay, so that makes much more sense. This is why it's such a big focus. So, yeah, by the time we got to high school, I didn't know how to do half the stuff in math, and I mean, a lot of that was my fault as well. But where I'm going with this in a sense of that was my experience. And then same thing how you're saying. Now, when I had kids, man, my damn son is doing like pre-calculus in sixth grade. What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Well, they like, I do agree. I do like the new way that they are teaching kids math. That's like one thing. Like I'm against Common Core in
Because
some ways.
they're teaching you how to do it all in your head.
They're teaching you how to think. We got
Uh-huh.
taught to memorize. There's a
Yes,
difference.
yes.
You got that. You had 60
Yes.
problems that you had to do in 60 seconds.
Yes,
And
yes.
it was like sight words. So
Yes, you're right.
you didn't learn why 2 times 2 equals 4. You just know 2 times 2 equals 4.
Yes, 100. Yep. I agree. Yeah, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I love how you
So
said that with that.
yeah, so like that's something that I really do agree with. I like how, and sometimes it's hard for me. I've looked at the kids' work sometimes and I'm like, listen, I honestly don't understand what this question is asking. You're in 4th grade. And like it's not, I'm sure maybe if somebody explained it to me, but
Breaks it
just
down.
like
Yeah.
yeah. But like you're not doing a great job.
That shit is hard. I don't even try to read their shit. I don't know what they're talking about. None of that. I mean, I try to go back a couple times, or I'll get there.
One day. Listen, math was never my strong suit. Although I do, like, I try to tell my kids, like, if you got to be good at one thing, like, I promise you, like, try your best to be good at math. 'Cause if you can be good at math, you can be good at anything.
I think, and you helped me do it kind of one time before, but I think with math, it comes down to definitely the teacher of how they explain things and of why. I think I was telling you one time I found this guy, Math Antics, it's called. It's on YouTube, and he reminds me of the math version of Bill Nye the Science Guy. It's
That's
freaking,
cool.
it's fun, dude. He's fun. Like I've learned more.
I
I
dig
feel
that.
like I've learned more watching his YouTube videos. I feel like that I did all of high school, right? But and that's what I mean. So there was a TV show. I don't remember what it's called. It didn't have many seasons, but they showed you how you use math in day to day, right? You function, okay, I gotta walk from here to my car. There's about 500 steps, right? You're using math at all, okay. Or like, let's say the movie was like a crime thing. So the guy shot him. What was the trajectory of the bullet or the blood splatter, right?
Yeah.
There's equations that you're doing, right? And it was like, I do that at every moment of my life. I mean, I can't even explain how often I feel like I'm just calculating shit, right? I've said that
Right.
to people before with time. Maybe I leave my foot here and I pivot because if I save 3 seconds times 40 trips, that saves me this many minutes in my shift, right? I do this all day. And I remember telling you something like this, and you were explaining that with music. You're like, well, you're really good at math, actually. And I'm like, I'm not. And you're like, you do it all the time in math. You got a 32 note, a 16 note. You got to place how many beats. And I'm like, holy shit. I am.
That is math.
I'm multiplying. I'm dividing. I'm subtracting. I'm adding. I'm doing all these numbers in my head to make this sound. I didn't even catch it, right? Because yeah, I can only do so many because that's again the equation, But again, it's like, I mean, yeah,
That was our problem. Like what we had growing up is like it was just practice. There wasn't theory. It wasn't like
There
this
you
is
go.
actually why
Yeah,
this is what it is.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
like this is what it is.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's
Like you
like
said, memorization.
as long as you can say, listen, we have a test on Friday. Here's a review on Thursday. A plus B equals C. On the test, C plus D equals.
Yeah.
Goddamn, I can do that.
That's all they did. You're right.
Yeah.
Definitely memorization, like you said. I told a couple people that before too. I said I've been going back and learning some of the basic math stuff, not because I'm not like intelligent enough, but because I think I just memorize it, and I'm not really sure why it is what it is. So I just want to, I want like long division, right? I'm going down breaking down long division, and I'm like, yeah, I can use a calculator, but I want to see if I know how to do it, right? Am I doing it right?
Right.
Like I said, using your brain, thinking correctly. But anyway, this was a good one. I guess we're gonna have to call this learning, teaching your children. I don't know what would you call this? New age technology. I don't know what the fuck. See, hold on, look, I'm about to go chat GPT this shit right now. What should I call this episode?
That's a good point.
Yeah, I'm like, but it's good sometimes. Like we haven't had like one where we just kind of shot the shit in a while. We don't always have so many bullet points, right? So I was like, this one's kind of
Exactly.
good. We just kind of ran with it and let it be known. But anyway,
I
I'm
think
going.
I think we got that good rhythm.
Yeah, definitely. This was a good one. Well, shit, it was been like 2 weeks probably, huh? So I was like, it's good
Yeah.
sometimes. Need a little break. I know I did. I'm like, but definitely, I'm like, now it had been long enough a break where I'm like, fuck, I need to talk to somebody. I've been talking to myself for a long time. But anyway, man, I appreciate you coming on the podcast as usual. This was a dad pod. We'll name it later. Maybe somebody will actually watch it and name it in the comment. All right. But until then, peace.
All right.